Okay, we are back. It's Sketch93. Not gonna lie, I just recorded about 15-20 minutes only to realize that the OBS profile was off. Yeah, it would be a classic sketchploration session without some bugs, without some crashes, or just some straight up wonky business. So, keeping it loose, definitely putting way more CPU cycles into actually trying to make weird sounds and not make some flashy production value type of thing here. To me, that's not the point. I am doing as little as possible or as much as possible to not distract from the weird sounds. So this is what we have here so far is kind of where we got in the last attempt. I had started off with this project from a previous sketch that I'd done a long time ago, and then brought in a rack. This one, it's got a nice drone to it, and it's this from one of the old improv creations, 2016, 2017 maybe. Honestly, it's been so long, and I've gotten so old I don't remember. No, but we have a lot of racks in here, a lot of chains, whatever, and a lot of effects in there. So feel free to dissect this, remix it, adjust it, tweak it, do whatever for your own nefarious purposes. And I'd also added in a little bit of a kick, just to get a bit of motion going on in there. I wasn't sure exactly where the kick thing was going, but I think automations are the way to go at this point. Okay, let's get a hotkey going. So now the middle mouse button turns that on and off. Very good, very good. All right. Definitely love the sound of automated attacks, decays, releases, especially when they're all running independently, unlinked from each other. You can get some really cool cross rhythms happening there. All right, what we should also try to explore here is another sidechain. I realized that I was going to do another sidechain from this kick as well. We've got a sidechain coming from this tone generator. And we could route both of these into a track and then route this into one effect, but there's nothing wrong with actually having two separate compressors. We can make this one a little bit less and more emphasis on the actual kick. Kick side chain compressor. And this one will be tone gen side chain compressor. You can do some wacky things like, wet and dry each of these. Let a little bit of the original dynamics through. Alright, let's play with this tempo here. 120 is just too normy. I just kind of want to put a bit of an LFO on this just to let it kind of drift. There's so many things I'm thinking at this point of what to do. It's nice sometimes to jump in on a sketch that you haven't heard in years, and with new ears and a new sense of context for it. Sometimes you can really just get some crazy new ideas, and it's a lot of fun to try and, just more like you're jamming off of your old past self. Okay, anyway, let's shut up and actually get to work. Enough meandering. All right. See if I can find it. I believe maybe it was an audio effect. tempo. There it is. Now we needed 2 LFOs. Let's. I'm liking this mysterious, sort of slow sounding, weird sounding vibe. Okay, let's map this to that. And we definitely got to play with the ranges. That is way too fast on the average. So let's pull this down. Let's get it around the oscillate around the 100. Not that high, not that high. Well, let's just see something that goes. Oh, maybe that's too fast. And we can also play with the depth overall, but now we need something to fire this thing off. Okay, one more LFO for the road. And this one we are going to choose the bin. So that just basically sends gates or a square wave-ish. Let's speed it up a little bit. There we go. The more we've got this thing vacillating, the more this is going to be. Kind of want a constant movement. All right, something like that. Let's sit with it for a bit. Automate this click on and off. Mostly off, but on just every now and then. Cool. Okay. Sometimes I just like to remove all of those. Control E on the PC turns those on and off. I just think it looks a lot less cluttery, chaotic, or whatever. And also, reason why I like using white, it just is a little easier on the brain for some reason. So many different colors coming through. I can be. It's a bit distracting. I'm a very visually minded person. Actually went to college to learn painting. Spent most of my first 20 years of my life painting, drawing, dabbling with sound a little bit along the way, but didn't get serious to that until after 21 or so. Good old Fruity Loops. Cool, let's get some automation on this base texture. And we could also just go in there and drop in, wow, that is a lot. It's a lot happening for that base texture. We could just get a, in fact, put it before the reverb so we get a little bit of that tail. A bit of a tremolo like we always do. The cheap trick of spacing a certain sound out. Now it'll just kind of come in and out. And I'm thinking the same thing for this tone 1. So far so good. I'm digging this. I don't even know what this is. Alien Lounge. Alien Tiki Bar. Yeah, that's... lots of weird characters inside this Alien Tiki Bar. Yeah, let's get some automation on this kick. I'm thinking just a little up and down. Our own little self-drawn LFO. Essentially, that's what these automations are. They're just your own custom LFOs, essentially. I'm hearing some nice kind of click percussions in there, so I want to try and see if I can get more of that to come out. Let's do a silly thing here. Let's group this and key filter this one. So it looks like we've got F, we'll just say F3. In fact, let's fix that. Let's make that C3 for the kick. Pull this down. Yes, back into range. And now, let's get another thing going. Ooh, that just sounds really terrible right off the bat. Let's see if we can tweak it some. First, we gotta tune this. Like this note kind of being pushed here, and I want to figure out a way to make this one note have a random variance. First of all, let's pull the probability down just a bit, and I'm thinking what we can do to get this effect to where it's more generative, where this thing is pushed off, it has a generative length, is let's bring in a humanizer. And I think this 1.1, let's make sure this is the one in our project. Wow. Oh, hey, it looks like bad news bears. So I'm going to pause it and we will be back. Okay. So, made it back in one piece, and I actually had to do a little bit of a test of this idea I'm having of just having this humanizer turn on for this one note, so you get these random sort of spacings between these two. And I just had to do some quick tests to make sure it wasn't going to crash again. There have definitely been a lot of weird MIDI bugs we have run into on these sketchsplorations, and wouldn't be a classic sketchsploration sesh without a bunch of Max for Live crashes. Wouldn't be a classic just Ableton Max for Live shenanigans without a bunch of crashes. The good news is the bugs I've filed, and believe you me, many bugs I have logged with Ableton. I'm finally getting some traction on some of the MIDI ones. They wrote back, said, actually for one of them, we don't deal with Max for Live stuff. Go to Cycling74. I'm like, don't you own Cycling74? And apparently they won't deal with Max for Live type bugs, which is ridiculous. So I had to figure out a different way to demonstrate the crash not using Max for Live. So hopefully that issue gets fixed. Hopefully Ableton can get their shit together. All right, cool. So we've got a nice kind of simple groove beat. I'm thinking we can add some more subtleties to this. Let's think of a different layer. Let's try get like a little hi-hat, even though this little clang click is close to a hi-hat type of sound. Let's play with this FM. Definitely need to narrow our key range. Okay, cool. Looks like E it is. Let's fix this. So click and use our left and right arrow keys. Almost a kind of snare type sound. Not bad. Kind of like that. Wasn't expecting that. And that's always the fun of it when you're sketching, is to just try to throw things in there. It's like throwing shit in a pot and seeing what sticks, you know? Sometimes you get lucky. Cool. We definitely need to automate all of these. So let's get to it. And whoops, yep, see, since we don't have the modulation automation options, these are all stacked differently. So unfortunately my auto hotkeys are aiming in different sections. So anyway, we just have to like do these by hand, I guess. Not a problem. Sleazy beat, I tell you. Okay. Let's definitely loop that. Cool. Digging the minimal stuff here. All right, let's get some automations happening on that. We're just going to automate just about everything on this for the hell of it. That has been a wonky one this time, this sketch. I feel like the last few have been somewhat dicey in terms of just, you know, unpredictable crashes. This is definitely affected by that decay, I can tell. Cool. Now it's moving on its own. Let's smooth it out, and now let's play with this decay. I think mostly I want these pretty tight, but a few wider open decays in there. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is just copy sections and paste different sections, duplicate that, smooth it all out. Let's stretch some of that in there. Just maybe draw some, you know, get kind of creative and expressive, and but without thinking too much about it. This pseudo steady beat almost really kind of works with this all this random tonal crap that's coming out of some of these other tracks. Sometimes it's nice to get a bit of steadiness going with a bit of chaos to help create a good balance. All right, call it a day on that one. Let's get some of these going. I wish I could just have the smoothing happen automatically, but unfortunately I think they removed that option from the options text, which is a sweet way to sort of tweak and hack some of Ableton's more obscure features. There used to be an auto thinning aggressiveness option, but I think they removed that in favor of this Where did it go? There used to be a simplify envelope. There it is. Simplify envelope. Not sure why I wasn't getting it on that other right click. Yeah, I like all this strangeness coming out of this FM1. Very like modular synth sounding a bit. But the noise section, of course, super classic Max for Live type of clinical, almost cardboardy type of digital sound. Which, you know, when run through big PA system, no one notices that. No one cares. But if you're like listening to it on really good, decent in-ear buds, where you can really hone in on this super subtleties, you know, it definitely is noticeable in my opinion. And I just use some fairly run-of-the-mill Sony in-ear buds, or like $15 each. Good bass response, good treble. Blocks out some sound. They got those mushroom chips. I can really hear a lot of the clicks and the pops. So when doing mastering or finalizing a mix, that is very important to be able to eliminate all those crappy digital clicks. Sometimes you want the digital clicks, oftentimes you just don't. So it's nice to have good earbuds that really accentuate that kind of stuff. In fact, when I'm doing final mixing, I like to try at least 8 different systems. There's 4 sets of speakers I use, 4 different sets of headphones, which includes 2 different types of earbuds. And I tell you, between all of those systems, I will hear pops and clicks at different times. Certain systems accentuate certain frequency ranges. And it's tedious. It's the worst part of doing any kind of album. I swear to God, I hate it, but it's a total necessary evil to making a really solid mix, in my opinion. Some other people would beg to differ. You know, they're like, just listen to it a few times on the loudspeakers, you know, finalize it. And I'm like, no, you got to have a lot of different systems, even different rooms that bring out different, you know, give you different perspectives. Yes, we are going to automate you. Like bizarro tones coming out of that. Whoops. There we go. Flap delays, so boring by itself, but I do really love the delay, the fade setting. It's so smooth. You can get some really nice, you know, versus this kind of goofy. It can sound a bit, you know, it's a classic delay sound, but it's a bit goofy. I like this more granular style. And we definitely gotta mess with the wet and dry on this. I don't want it so prominently affecting. Kind of a classic Audiger and or IDM genre move is to have a lot of delay with a high feedback set, and makes that carpless strong type of sound. And that is, yeah, Audiger have kind of overused that effect a little bit, but it can sound very fascinating when you automate it and or add some LFOs to it. And in this case, the filter really helps. Cool. Let's just sort of draw in some haphazardously. Yes, spastic. And let's, oops, didn't want to do that, but oh well. Sometimes I just close my eyes and I start messing around, clicking, dragging. I I've got a trackball in one hand, and I've got the mouse clicks on the numeric keypad. There's my thumb just hits, clicks and drags. One button. And then I've got one button for double clicks. Right here, double clicks. Splitting up the load between two hands versus one hand doing all the clicking and all the mouse moving really helped me. Wow, I was really dying from carpal tunnel for a while there, so it's a good thing that Windows at least has the easy solutions for setting mouse clicks on a keyboard, so you can take a load off. Wow, that is a cheesy sounding organ. Okay, really just diving in, drilling into this percussion type of sound. But you know, we could probably keep going, but I actually do really like the minimalist of it. And again, I spent 20 minutes recording, blathering on, only to realize that OBS was set up improperly. It's always something over here. Oh, cool. I think we've got a decent little sketch, and I'm gonna call it good to go for now. So until next time, keep it weird, keep it wonky.